This is what's causing our issues, hopefully. Welcome back to Johnson Skiff Adventures. Thanks for tuning into the channel, hanging out for the day. I appreciate you guys being here all the time, so let's get to it. Today, we're going to be continuing what's turned into kind of a multi-episode series of diagnosing the cold start issues on our 2005 Johnson 60 horsepower EFI outboard. In the previous two videos, we discussed the potential problems that could be causing the cold start issue that we're having on this outboard. If you missed those, check them out. They'll be linked here in the video. We started with our spark plugs, went through, swapped all those out, made sure that those were not our problem to begin with. Next video, we tackled the fuel injectors and were able to remove the fuel injectors, clean the fuel injectors, and reassemble with new O-rings and seals, so those are ready to go back on as well. Now, while we have this apart, our next plan of action for today is going to be actually getting to removing the VST. And in the previous videos, as I mentioned, I'm a bit nervous about this, to be honest, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna tackle it. We're gonna get after it today. So today, removing the VST, cleaning, replacing filters. There's an inline filter and there's a filter for the fuel pump in there. So we're gonna take that all apart, clean it, and replace those things as needed, and hopefully fix our cold start issues for good. So first thing that needs to come off of this engine is the flywheel cover. This just simple unscrew and snaps off the rest. This will allow us to access the rest of the components we need to remove everything down to the VST. Next, we'll remove the main fuel line. Then the air silencer has to come off. There's one bolt that goes into the intake manifold here, and then we'll remove a few hoses and pop this off. Next thing, we'll remove our fuel lines. This is the fuel line coming out of the fuel pump, which goes into the VST. This one was kind of a pain. You'll see, took me a while to get it off there, but we got it eventually. There's a couple clasps holding these hoses kind of in place, just disconnecting those. The main fuel delivery into the VST, and then a vent hose. Now we'll remove the hoses that are connected to the air silencer. This one was a little bit of a struggle, but came off without too much problem. Now we'll move the battery cable slightly and allow us to pop off the air silencer all the way off the outboard. And one more hose connecting it on top, which will pop off right here. If you've ever tackled this job of removing the VST and cleaning it yourself, comment below. Let me know how it went. I look forward to hearing from you. Next up, we'll remove the fuel lines that come into the fuel rail from the VST. These clamps were pretty bad, corroded, caused me some issues, but eventually we got it. Man, this little hose put up a fight for sure. The struggle was real on this one. I ended up having to just break this clip off eventually to get it free from this fuel rail. But like has been happening, we get it eventually. So just keep working at it. Wow, that was crazy.
Now we'll remove the mounting bracket that holds the fuel filter that's mounted directly to the intake manifold. Now we'll remove the hoses from the fuel filter. They actually had these switched the wrong way, which could be causing some of our fuel issues, fuel delivery. So when we put this back on, we'll definitely make sure they're going the right way from the gas tank into the engine, the proper direction. Not sure how they messed that up, but we'll get it fixed. Decided to drain a little fuel out here just to make less of a mess. Drain it, and then we'll get to taking the hoses off. Next, we're going to remove the actual adapter for where the fuel comes into the engine.
After struggling with this clip for about 20-30 minutes, embarrassingly enough, I was trying to push on this. I thought it was a part of this clip, but all you gotta do is pull that little tab, and then this connector will pop right out of there. Live and learn.
I recruited my friend Jared to help me with this next step. We're just gonna remove all of the bolts that are holding the throttle body. These actually go into the intake manifold, so you have to undo all 4 of these bolts. Jared's just there to help hold the manifold as we start taking things apart. He was a bro, helped me out. Thanks, man.
So this one's first?
Yep, 11. So now we're getting to removing all the bolts that are holding on the intake manifold. There's a sequence where you torque these when you put it on, and you're supposed to remove them in reverse order. So we're just referencing our chart, removing all these bolts, and sorry the camera angles aren't great, but it is what it is.
No, it's the ones that's back behind this thing. Which, how are you supposed to... How are you supposed to get that one? I guess maybe like that. Let me... Oh, what the heck? That's funny.
Sometimes it just works out that way. Back to removing bolts.
I guess. Yeah, we don't. And now this
Once we had the manifold free, there was a couple more hoses we had to get off. So Jared was help holding that up while I removed those last couple hoses, and then we'll have the whole thing free, ready to go to the bench.
Gotcha. We got it off. All right, so we got this on the bench now. Unfortunately, I didn't get to film the whole thing like I wanted to. It was a bit meticulous trying to find all the different pieces I had to remove the hoses and unplug the sensors and do all the stuff. Apologize if we missed anything on the removal, but here we are. We got it on the bench. So the intake manifold, and then this is what we're looking at today, this VST, Vapor Separator Tank. This is what I think is probably causing our issues, but let's go ahead and take it off here and open her up and see what she looks like inside, and we'll go from there. So another thing to note as I start taking these hoses off here, this connection here is not typically how you see these. I had mentioned in a previous video that I had ordered the high pressure fuel filter. That's this guy here. This is the new one. And what was curious when I got this and went to look at the engine is there wasn't one actually on here. This actually mounts to the intake manifold right here, and the in hose would go here and the out hose here, which would go to the fuel rail. Apparently a lot of the manufacturers and sometimes aftermarket mechanics would remove this to eliminate more fuel restriction, just rely on your fuel water separators that are external from the outboard. And this is the connection they have. These clips are pretty corroded. Let me see if I can get a better focus on that. They're pretty corroded, and there's just that one little elbow there, which I can't imagine helps fuel flow too much. That sharp 90 there, but that's what people use apparently. I still haven't decided if I'm just going to replace those clamps or if I'm actually going to put this filter in. I've been reading a lot of different things. I'm probably going to just reinstall this high pressure fuel filter and hope that it's not restricting fuel too much. And if it does, then I can maybe go back to some kind of system like this. But what's currently on there, I don't feel like is quite the best situation. So keep you posted on that one. But for now, let's take all these hoses off, get this VST off of the intake manifold, and get to opening her up. Just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment down below. I'm putting out a new video every week, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. See you there. Alright, so first I'm going to remove this fuel line that comes from the bottom of the VST.
This hose ended up giving me quite a bit of struggle as well. Ended up having to break this clip off like before, just so I could get this hose removed and move on with the project.
Ta-da! Holy moly. Alright, that was way more complicated than I thought it would be, but we got it. Alright, our next step, we have 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, actually holding this VST unit to the intake manifold. Alright, so that is loose now. We got the VST off there, which is great. This is what's causing our issues, hopefully. Then we're going to take this line, which goes comes from the low pressure fuel pump into the VST here. I'm going to take that one off as well. So on the top of this unit we have, I believe 5 or 6 screws. Looks like 5 that we'll take off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's get those off. Alright, I didn't catch it on camera unfortunately, but I was able to use the impact drill to take these 5 screws out. Couldn't get them by hand, I started trying to work on these ones. I got these two out by hand. This one is so stuck in there, and I'm fearful that it's just really corroded in there because I can't even get it with the impact. So I don't think we have to take that plate off, but we're going to investigate once we get this opened up and see what's going on. So let me get the rest of these out and dump the rest of this fuel out so I can stop spilling it everywhere. So now that we got those loose with the impact, we're just going to back these out the rest of the way. I don't know if you can really tell through this glass in the camera, but there's definitely some sediment in there and some kind of water mixed in with that fuel. So that's inside the VST. We're going to clean that out real good. And then the top section holds the actual high pressure fuel pump. The filter here, I'll get you a better angle on that in a second, but that's what we're going to replace to hope to have some better fuel flow and cleaner fuel going in. And then you have the float system here, which we'll take a look at that needle and stuff as well. And we will jump into it. Let me get you back on the tripod. So I want to start with this actual fuel filter that's on the fuel pump here. So we're going to figure out how to get this taken apart. There's a screw that holds this plate on. Yep, there it is. So I don't know if you can see down right in here, it's kind of tough to see, there's a screw that holds this plate on. If I can even get my screwdriver in there. There we go. I was hoping that one wasn't going to be seized in there like the other ones were. So that whole piece can come out, and then that filter there we'll take a look at in a second. And then this fuel pump should just pop out of here like that, and then you just want to make sure you get this disconnected here. A little bit smaller screwdriver. Oh, sorry. Bumped ya. There we go. So fuel pump is free now, and then get a look in here. There's definitely some grime a little bit and stuff, so we'll get this stuff cleaned up as best as possible and then reassembled. Alright, so the screw here that's holding up this float system, it's super stuck in there, so I'm gonna kind of clean around it for now, and then maybe try to loosen that up somehow, but I don't want to totally strip that out in case I do need to get in there. I wasn't planning, I don't have a new needle or anything ordered. I was just planning on replacing the actual filter and cleaning out this tank. So I'm not going to mess with that too much right now. I'm just going to clean around it. So I got to get this seal out of here too. It's pretty fused in there, it seems like. I have a new one to put on here, so I don't really care if I break this getting it out. Just need to get it out of there. Piece started there. There we go. Yeah, crusty old seal. Alright, give me a sec. I'm gonna scrub this a little bit. Just got some parts cleaner and go to town. I won't bore you with that part of the video. Kind of get to work on this and I'll show you what it looks like when we're done. Alright, so we got this cleaned out a little bit. It's not great, but definitely better. I'm going to set that aside for now. Fuel pump cleaned up a little bit. It looks pretty decent. The seal, this is the old one. You can see how nasty that is. That's getting replaced. And this filter here is getting replaced. Now this, you can really see Let me see if I can get the best angle for you here. This is super clogged, so you can see all the gunk that's in there, and causing that to maybe not let fuel pass as it should. So I got a brand new filter. That's the old crusty one. Brand new one looks like that. Beautiful, clean. I think it should help a ton for that fuel flow. So let's get this swapped out and installed in here. Alright, so we got that old one off there. This is just the bracket. Clean this up a little bit, and then I'll get the new filter put on there. So we got our new filter going on here. Should just pop in there. We got it. New, clean filter. Should help a ton. Alright, well, I got these cleaned out as best as I could for now. Gonna get the pump reinstalled, new filter put on, and the new seal inlaid here, and put this all back together, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is going to be replacing definitely some hose connectors and maybe most of this fuel line as well. I wasn't really anticipating to do that, but it looks like it definitely needs to be done, so I think that's where we'll go next. We got the screen back on the pump. Gonna try to get this screw down in here. I feel like it's gonna be a difficult one, but we'll see if I get lucky. I think I got it. Tighten that down. Alright, so we got our fuel pump reinstalled, plugged in, with the new filter on it. Alright, we're gonna get this new seal put on here. Got that new seal on there. Looks good. Alright, so we got this all cleaned out. We got our new seal on here. We're gonna get this put back together, button back up. My phone's actually about to die, so I'm gonna get this put back together same way we took it apart, mount it back on here, and then just kind of assess what kind of new connections I need, maybe some new fuel hose to complete this project, and get those things, and see you in the next video where we'll install all of this, add the new fuel lines, fuel filters, those other things I have, and hopefully in the next video we'll actually give it a test run, test fire, to see if we have once and for all fixed our cold start issues. So stay tuned. Alright, well, I think that's going to wrap up today's video. We successfully removed the VST, which I'm stoked about. Definitely was not looking forward to this job. I was a little nervous about it, but it went pretty well overall. So thanks for your support. I knew you were rooting for me the whole time, so cheers to you. As always, thanks for hanging out, tuning in for another episode. Appreciate you guys so much. Next episode, we're going to be putting all of this thing back together, installing the intake manifold back on with the VST, probably some new fuel lines and new fuel tank, new fuel filters, get it all dialed, new fuel system essentially, and test our cold start issue. And hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully we fixed it. Hopefully you'll be there next week to check out the status. So appreciate you guys. Till next time, peace.